Hello guys, and welcome to another video in the Toolkit Workflow panel video series. It's a bit of a tongue twister. On top of that, it's also part 2 because part 1 got a little bit too long. I want to keep it in smaller size. It's easier to watch. It's part 2 of how to establish a workflow and how the product that is conveniently named workflow would help you with this. So, in no way or form does this panel force you into a specific workflow. You can do anything in any order that you want. And you can use parts of it to create your own panel if you have the panel maker. If you bought this separately without the panel maker, then you can't change it, of course. But you're also not forced to change it because you don't have to press it in a certain order. Another thing, I'm not going to do a retouch. This is overview of workflow and how I would do it and how I would recommend that you do it depending on your level of expertise. So a really good way to start, unless you're really experienced and want to set it up yourself, is to press folder setup. It gives you the layers and in the order. If you work in this order, you're gonna get a good retouch. I mean, it requires skill as well, but as long as you follow this, then you have a good workflow and non-destructive. We also have lots of eye helpers. I'm not gonna go through these. It will be a different video. For repair, so again, let's just reiterate. So what it created here is you work from the bottom up. Everyone does, always, with no exceptions, basically, except for grading, which you can do before. But if you do any type of pixel work, you needed to do it from the bottom up. So start with healing and cloning. Repair is this folder. A quick way is to use the spot healing brush set to sample all layers. But the issue with sample all layers is that you can't use any eye helpers. And eye helpers are really good to increase contrast or like really show the problems. And it's I never could do a hair retouch without having help layers, for example, because I need to make sure it doesn't break the hair if I do a quick method. Mostly high-end retouchers, they use a lot of cloning and less of spot healing brush because it doesn't give you as much control. But for an image like this, it's really good. And yep, there's different methods of healing. Not going to go through that. But one good thing about this workflow is you can use the spot healing brush even if you have eye helpers and even if you have grading on top. I'll demonstrate this by just creating an eye helper here that does something crazy, maybe negative, just as an example. Now I need to, if I have a blank layer now and I do sample all layers, it's gonna be blue, and that doesn't work, of course. So then I would need to turn off my eye helper. But what if I want the eye helper when I'm doing the work because it helps me? Or if I want the grading on top because then I see more clearly how the final image is going to look. So what I came up with and is that to create a stamp. And this one does automatically turn off all layers that are above, basically, in essence. So it only stamps. So if you are in the repair and you stamp, it doesn't become blue. You can see it in the thumbnail, but I can prove it by turning off the eye helper. So I have a copy of what's below, and now I can use this. I have a little bit of a technical malfunction now in the recording. My Wacom tablet decided to control the wrong screen, and because I closed down everything for recording, I can't get the tablet settings up to change it to the proper monitor, and I can't retouch on a mouse. Not that I intended to do it for this video, but still, just so you know. Also a tip, get a tablet and get a Wacom. They are the best. Okay, so I'll do my handy scratches with the mouse here. Like so. But the issue then is that you doubled your file size, and it's usually not something you want. So what you can do with the toolkit is something very neat. Is in document here, it says delete identical pixels. So once you're done with your spot healing, you can just, it's a big file, this one, so might take a little bit of time. But now if you look here, it deleted everything that was the same as the layer below, or the stamp of the layer below, I should say. Very neat little feature to keep down file size and still be able to use eye helpers and have grading on top, and still use the spot healing brush until they fix another option that says sample current and below, at least. Okay, so let's just continue. If I did regular healing, I just create these layers, a bunch of them in a lot of cases, because that means I can mask or delete if there's anything, because empty layers doesn't really add to file size, so it doesn't matter. And then once I'm done with the repair, I would move into dodge and burn. And again, if you want it, the toolkit will give you a lot of help, the workflow panel. If you use right click, or if you put right click on your pen or your tablet or keyboard shortcut or whatever, if I am anywhere in the document and instead of left clicking on dodge and burn, I right click, it will end up in the dodge and burn folder. If I right click on healing, ends up in the healing folder. Just a small little tip. If I want to saturate, I right click and I get a saturate. Which I would then paint on with a white soft brush. Exactly the same as dodge and burn. And then color corrections, various methods. Don't think I will show them. No, that will be a different video. And then grading, also different video. So, and then I'm done basically with the retouch, unless there's something specific that you need to do. and then it's saved and stored away as the original. And then I want to export it. I'd start with duplicate merged. This particular version in 16-bit will help if your image is in 8-bit. So it's a bit backwards, but if your image is in 8-bit, use duplicate and merge in 16-bit. If it's already in 16-bit, just use duplicate merged, which is fine. So I always do this because I don't want to resize the original file. And I also want to treat the file for the output. So then let's resize this to some size. I usually use this size for like online images. So now you can see we got first we got the merge, and then we got the copy, which is the web version. Remove this one. You can make sure the copyright is set on the file. There's some really cool stuff here for sharpen. I've done a lot of research on the best methods of sharpening. There's a really cool grain. I always add grain to almost all my images because it adds very nice harmony. There's other stuff here as well, but yeah, we will go through this as well. The frequency separation stuff here is very specific scenarios. Can't remember, I've used it on skin, even on the simplest of portraits. Maybe on the legs or something, never on the face. So that's it really for this video. We will go into detail on another feature in the next video, so keep an eye out and catch you in a bit. Thank you.